I want to show you how to DM prospects and make them want to buy from you even if you have 0 followers and never sold anything before. This is based on a concept I've been perfecting for over 12 years called social dynamic marketing. It's helped me make my first $2,000 a month when I started as a young 20-year-old, and it's the backbone of both my multiple 7-figure-a-year businesses. But it's also helped people like Patrick make $60,000 a month and Richie make his first $10,000 a month, even though they're busy with family and have less than 5,000 followers. I'm gonna tell you the exact things that have helped me generate over 8 figures and will also help you sell your coaching, your course, your products, or even someone else's products as an affiliate. Plus, I'll even show you 2 real-life demonstrations of A, reaching out to someone completely cold to where I got them to pay me $8,000, and B, I will literally reach out live to someone from my Instagram account in this video and try to get them to pay me at least $4,000, so you can be the judge yourself whether this is actually legit or not. So let's start with the first message that you can send out to anyone, and I'm sure we've all gotten a cold message by someone that sounds super scripted or copy-pasty like this lady here. First of all, I'm not John. Second of all, she left the quotation marks in there when she copy-pasted it. You're probably thinking, I would never ever reply to a DM like that. True, and the reason though why you would never reply to that is because they're all missing one single word. You heard that right. Have a look at this cold DM that I sent out to someone I reached out to in a random Facebook group. Can you spot that one word? It's this one. Things like, you're also in XYZ niche, or I see you also work with XYZ people, trigger the so-called familiarity bias. They actually did a study in like 2021 published in the Journal of Business Research showing that we humans are basically more likely to reply and engage with someone that triggers that familiarity bias. But how does it work? Very simple. By me saying you're also in that niche, I'm either communicating that I could be a potential colleague to that person because we're in the same niche, ergo, she could probably learn something from me, or at least collegial courtesy would dictate that she should reply to me. Or I work with people that are also in that niche, which means I might know a thing or two and the person that I'm writing to could potentially profit from my knowledge. Or I'm writing also because I'm a potential client and I'm comparing the same offers, including hers, in which case she will want to reply because she doesn't want to not reply to a potential client. Either way, it's quote unquote more painful for her to not reply to me than to reply to me, and that's all done with the single word also. Now, there's more of these psychological triggers that you can actually take advantage of in our full DM script, which I'll share with you in a second here. But before that, you should know the second key principle that increases your initial reply rate drastically. Think about it in terms of psychology. If we receive a message that looks good enough for us to consider replying, what's the natural next thing we do before we hit that reply button? We look at the profile from which the DM came from, right? So you gotta make sure that that's on point too. People's eyes always go to your profile photo first and then to the last 3 posts that you've posted. So let's make sure that those are on point. So let's start with the profile photo. I always say you wanna look confident and competent, meaning number 1, people should be able to see your face. Don't have full body pictures where you're far away. Don't wear huge sunglasses where people cannot see your face. Smile so you're confident, and look competent in terms of don't have shirtless photos on there or mirror selfies, like ideally a photo that goes from the chest up to the top of your head. Number 2, what to post on your social media profile. I recommend you, generally speaking, to have at least 1 testimonial on there. It doesn't need to be from a real client. It could be from a free test client or from a friend that you've helped in that area that you want to be, selling in. A second post should be about you, like your hero's journey in regards to the problem that you help fix or how you discovered the product that you're usually trying to sell. And the third thing is a value post, something where people can say, oh wow, cool, I learned something new. This is all overarching part of a method that we call the flywheel method. The flywheel method basically says, as you're posting, you will gather more and more insights of what works, and your posts get better, which means you're getting even more insights, and so on and so forth, so the flywheel starts spinning faster and faster. I made an extra video on that, which I'll link here right now, somewhere at the top. You can open that in a new tab to watch that later. But anyways, people keep asking me, okay, Max, I'm posting, I'm using the flywheel method. Now, how do I actually do the DMs? So here's exactly how. Edgar Dale once actually wrote, people remember 80% of what they see and do compared with 10% of what they hear. So let me literally show you, and ideally you put this into practice right away. So let me DM a follower here on the Max Tornow Business Instagram account, and I'm just kind of like taking you along, and I'm gonna show you the exact DM script as I'm applying it in real life. So you have the entire script, you feel that you've done it yourself, and the knowledge goes right straight into your cranium. So let's go. All right, so we're in a Max Tornow business account. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go to the followers, all people that came in lately. That's what we basically do. We message everybody that follows me. In your equivalent, it's basically anybody that just liked the post or commented on it, but the DM script is the same either way. And by the way, we're gonna look at someone completely cold that does not follow me yet right after this example. Anyways, follows, let's see here. I'm just gonna take the latest one. We have a lady named Angela. We're gonna click on that, and we're gonna click message. So, hey, first name. Was taking a sip of coffee when I saw you dropped me a follow, so thought, why not connect today? What prompts you to follow me? Question mark. So this is what we call an initial foot in the door message. Couple things here. Number one, I actually write the name of the person in there, so it kind of already shows that I'm not a copy paste spam bot or something like that. Plus number two, I want to include a so-called easy to answer question. If I'm writing here now, hey Angela, do you want to start a coaching business? Like, that's a harder to answer question. She would be like, do I really want to? I don't know yet. I'm not good enough, yada, yada, yada. You know what? I'm going to reply later, aka never. But I'm asking just, what prompted you to follow me? So she could say, your content, or you got recommended to me, or whatever it is. It's a relatively easy to answer question. And again, if you can, use the word also. So theoretically, I could have written here, was taking a sip of coffee when I saw you also dropped me a follow. So the word also is always very, very powerful. And actually, there you go. She just replied, I saw some of your content on the Explore page. Love learning. I bust my bust working. I want to be smarter, so I thought I'd follow. Well, thank you very much for that, Angela. I appreciate it. So yeah, I'm just gonna write, yeah, been posting some more lately. Feel free to browse through my content. So I acknowledge what she just wrote, added by step number two, which is qualifier number one. Qualifier number one is basically finding out, is that person even in my target audience? Meaning, can I help that person? But most importantly, do they come from a country with buying power? Because it's all over the internet. And also, I want to make sure that the person is at least 18 years old so they can actually purchase something from me. I know this already from the profile picture because she says she's a mom. So now I guess she's over 18 plus. I now just want to find out where she's located in. And I also write where I'm located in, so it becomes more of a conversational tone. So she actually writes quite a lot, which is always a good sign. I'm going to acknowledge what she wrote because she's doing some sort of competition. That's really, really epic. Plus, I want to skip right to step number 4, which is qualifier number 2, figuring out if she has the problem that I can help fix. I'm a business consultant, so naturally I'm going to ask, hey, do you want to build a business? Is this something that you're interested in? So I'm going to write, that sounds epic. Wish you all the best with your competition, exclamation mark. Have you ever thought about monetizing all these skills in the online world to generate some extra income? Or is this completely new to you, question mark. The reason, by the way, why I'm skipping step 3, telling the lead what I'm doing without offering anything, is because I kind of just did that anyways. I did it above. Plus, she has a lot of the context. She's already following me. If that is not the case, before I would ask if the person has a problem, I would actually just say, cool, I actually help people like XYZ get to XYZ end result. So that will be step 3. In our case, we just skipped that. She actually replied, and by the way, she replies really fast, which is very, very fantastic. A lot of times, you're going to have to spread that out over multiple hours or sometimes even days, which is totally fine. But the lead here is replying pretty fast, which means I'm going to stay online and reply as well because I want to keep the conversation going and move it forward until that person buys or books a call with us. Makes sense. I assume you didn't go fully into it because it didn't generate enough income, or question mark. We have now arrived at step number 5, which is getting into the problem, digging a little bit deeper. What is missing? What's the issue? And potentially even what are the goals with this whole thing? Now, this is going to be different from conversation to conversation, but generally speaking, you want to find out enough information until you can propose a potential solution. It's that simple. Okay, so I just realized that because of the time differences, I'm in Europe. It's 3 a.m. where she is, so she needs to sleep. So I'm not gonna keep pushing, actually. I'm just gonna be like, time difference, LOL, reply when you can. And then, I mean, yeah, I guess we gotta pause here and then see, you know, maybe later today if she replies. If not, we're gonna send a follow-up. All right, so she just replied a couple hours later, actually at the end of my working shift. She says, where are you located? So, yeah, I'm currently in Cyprus, flying to Texas actually, so you know, maybe she's excited because it's the US, in about 5 weeks though. Boom. Let's see what she replies. All right, so we're still at stage 5, finding out more about the problem, and this happens quite a lot, that you know, you might get sidetracked during the conversation and people don't open up that much. I still want to find out why she didn't start the business, what was the problem, so I kind of pressed a little bit further in a very calibrated way. So now let's see what she replies, and then I think we're pretty close to having her book a call. By the way, as she's typing, one thing that you need to realize too is, like, if that person would be colder, wouldn't write as much as she does, she literally is writing quite a lot, then I would probably ask a little bit more questions about the pain points and about the goals. But the buying temperature here, I'm gauging to be relatively high, which is great, right? I've been posting a lot of very great content that can always be very helpful. All right, so we're at an interesting part of the conversation here. Usually I would start teasing the solution now, which means, hey, in your case, you could do this and this and this to get the end result that you desire, which is building your own business. But I'm not quite sure if she'll have enough time for that. So there's kind of like one more question that I want to ask, just to ensure that she's even time-wise ready to get started with something. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask one more question, but at the same time already move on to step number 6, which is teasing the solution. Teasing the solution basically means give the person a logical explanation about what they need to do and how that's going to get them to an end result. Make sure you keep it simple and easy. Don't overwhelm them. Don't make it sound too complicated, because that will just turn them off, right? Make it sound interesting if possible as well. So here's what I'm going to write. We're just going to skip forward here so you don't see me typing. So I'm basically saying you could leverage your existing skills in healthy lifestyles and diets and target the high ticket space to avoid burnout from handling too many clients. That's a pretty awesome solution if you ask me, but I'm not sure if dedicating 1 to 2 hours daily is feasible for you. So let's see what she replies. Once I cut part-time at the clinic, it will be. So that's a pretty clear yes. So in my head, it's all good to go. I'm literally just gonna suggest a call and then we'll see what happens. Now, this is a very interesting part of the conversation, because sometimes people will have more questions if you haven't warmed them up properly enough, or they might have a slight little mini objection as to why they cannot jump on a call right away, but I'm sure we can handle it. Let's see. We are at step 7 here, where I'm getting their compliance to my help. I basically want to make it seem like it's their idea. I'm like, hey, you know, there's this thing we could do. We offer this to my followers, or I'm always curious to hear more. We could do that unless you say it's not a good idea. So I kind of want them to think like it's their idea, of saying like, oh no, that is actually a good idea. Let's hop on a call for sure, right? So that's really good. I would like that. Thank you. So from now on, it's basically just smooth sailing. I'm just going to say, great. Instead of DMing back and forth, I suggest we hop on a quick call with my team today or tomorrow. Would you be against that? Question mark. All right, so Angela's ghosted me, which can totally happen. In most cases, it's not even because people aren't interested. It's just because life comes in between. But I actually got a funny antidote to ghosting, and that is sending out funny memes that help the reply rate go back up. So let's have a look. So I have a little follow-ups folder where I can send Angela one of those. So let's see what she says. So I'm just gonna send one of those. So this is actually one of my favorites. Like, maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I should follow up. Maybe you'll book the call after all. So I'm just gonna send that over to her and see what she replies. All right, so Memes never disappoint. It did work. She did reply. Nope, that would be fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna send her our scheduling link. If you don't have a scheduling link yet, that's totally fine. I always recommend you exchange numbers at this point. So you can then text or WhatsApp, and then over text or WhatsApp, you schedule the exact day and time. I would never book further advanced than maybe 1 to 2 days maximum. So I'm also gonna try that here with Angela. All right, so I just got the notification on our calendar app. Angela has booked her call. So in this case, either I would jump on a free consultation and see if and how exactly we can help her, or someone from my team. I don't know yet exactly who's gonna be available tomorrow, but we're gonna make it happen. I'm just gonna reply back, hey, great that you booked. I saw that you're in our calendar, something along those lines. And then what I'm also gonna send her is I'm gonna send her a specific video that warms her up a little bit more, that kind of shows her what we're all about, because sometimes people show up to the calls, they're not quite sure what it is that we're doing, or they're not sure if it works for them. So that video is something that we've prepared that, helps people understand a little bit better what this is about, and shows them that, if or not, they can do it themselves as well. Boom, send that off. Boom, Angela, great, thank you. All right, that's it with Angela. Now she's just gonna have the call, and let's see how we can help her. As we're waiting for Angela to have her call, let me turn on some extra light here in the little studio thingy. That should be better. You might be wondering, but Max, that was someone that was already a follower. Well, what you gotta realize is this works just as well for reaching out to someone completely cold as well. In fact, let me share some of that as well, because I have some more screenshots from back in the days when I used to do a lot of cold outreach. Now, this is someone that I reached out to. They did not know me before, but they actually ended up buying for $8,000 a couple days later. Now, we're not gonna go into that much detail anymore because I don't want to bore you, but you can pause the screen if you want, and you can still see the same rules apply of the general DM framework. Here you can actually see the also in our foot in the door message. Then I'm trying to find out if this is even someone that I can potentially help. You can actually see step 3 in this conversation as well, which is telling the lead what my company is doing. I'm getting a little bit deeper into the pain point here, finding out what exactly the issue is. And you can see here, I'm straight up teasing the solution. Have you ever tried charging high prices, but not just for a single session, but for an end result you bring into your client towards? So you can see here I'm digging a little bit deeper into the problem. What is his issue? Why is that issue even there? And what he would like to do. And then you can see me teasing the solution. I ask, may I give you some honest feedback from my experience on pricing? He says, yes, of course. And then you can basically see what I suggest he does. Now I'm going straight into the next step, which is getting compliance on whether or not he wants my help. So I'm basically saying I could have a bit of a closer look at your situation to see how that would have to be done exactly in your case. If you want me to, he says, yeah, I could use some help. Sounds good. So I say, sounds good. Then I suggest we hop on a free consulting call. How does that sound? He has a 14-hour drive. Again, most likely people are not going to say yes right away. They say, oh, I have a drive, or I'm busy, and so on and so forth, which is no problem. You either now get the phone number and schedule via text/WhatsApp, or you have a scheduling link like we do here, in which case it's all pretty straightforward. So we can actually see here our dear Angela came through. She actually ended up buying for $5,000, one-time payment. So way to go, Angela. Fantastically done. You're going to change your life. And if you're watching this now and you say, hold on a second, I know how to DM now, that's cool. How can I make sure that I get a lot of DMs, people reaching out to me? Well, part of that is the flywheel method that we've discussed before that helps you build a little bit of a micro brand that has qualified prospects reaching out to you every single day. If you want that, go check out my next video that will teach you exactly that, and I'll see you there.